be confident in what you're doing, right? And if the goyim hate us for doing that and they kill us for doing that, it's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. Because to try and appease the goyim is not going to work. There's a saying, there's a story in the Talmud.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't believe in the Talmud, but
Chas v'shalom.
There's a story in the. We're bringing them in lately.
It's like, make your coherent point.
I'm trying. Who can talk with you here? There's a story in the Talmud, and it's with Rabbi Akiva. What are you doing?
I'm getting drunk.
You just killed the camera. Do you know that you just killed the camera? Hold on. Look what you did. You put that thing on the camera wire, and you upset the angle of the camera.
Okay, now make it one coherent point.
Okay. The Talmud tells us that Rabbi Akiva, there was a story in the Talmud, and it says that that the Romans were killing the Jews.
Yeah.
The Romans were killing all the Jews in Eretz Yisrael, and they said, "What should we do? Should we try to blend in and not be Jews anymore? Should we put away the books, the Sfarim, and should we stop learning Torah and just try to blend in and save our lives? Because if we sit here and act Jewish and dress Jewish and learn Torah all day, they're going to kill us. That's an inevitability." And it's true, because Rabbi Akiva was killed, and so were all his students, right? So was it better to die learning Torah, or is it better to try to save your life by blending in with the goyim? Okay, you understand?
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think the story is?
That it's better to study Torah. Live as a Jew, because you're going to get into trouble anyway.
So Rabbi Akiva said like this. I can give you. It's very simple.
Yeah, it's a famous story.
It is a famous story. He said it has to. It's like a fish.
Yeah.
If you have a fish in the water, and it's being pursued by a bigger fish,
mm-hmm.
would the fish be wise to go up on the dry land to get away from that fish?
No.
Because if he goes up on the dry land, he's going to die.
Right.
Fish have to be in the water.
Right.
If he's in the water, he may get eaten by the bigger fish. But there's one thing for sure. Going up on land is not going to help him.
Yeah.
That's an instant death. Okay? So he said Jews are compared to fish. How are we compared to fish? Because where it says that a fish should have fins and scales, the words are snapper v'kaskesis. The word for
Don't get distracted. I'm turning off the chat. Make your coherent point.
the word for the translation for fins and scales is snapper v'kaskesis. But if you look in the Aramaic translation, in the Onkelos, he says that snapper v'kaskesis is tefillin and tzitzis. Okay?
Yeah.
So what do you see? That the fish is like a Jew. That just like a Jew has tefillin and tzitzis is surrounded. The fins and scales make the fish kosher. So the Jew is kosher because he has tefillin and tzitzis. Now, so when water is compared to Torah, water is compared to Torah. Mayim chaim, it's the water of life. Torah is life. So water is compared to Torah. When a fish is swimming in the water, it's a metaphor for the Jew immersing himself in a life of Torah and mitzvahs, right? And a Jew is like a fish. So when a fish is in the water, he's got a chance. Now he's being pursued by an enemy, and you're saying, should I go out on dry land? A Jew not involved in Torah and mitzvahs is like he's going on dry land. When a Jew assimilates and tries to escape Torah, the life of Torah, he's putting him or herself on dry land. A Jew cannot survive on dry land. A Jew cannot survive in a world without Torah. A Jew can't survive. Jews don't make good going. Jews assimilate. That's not a path that we can survive in. We're not created to be survive in an assimilated world. And God will surely make sure of that, as he did with the Holocaust, when we try to assimilate. So, that is your answer to the question. Rabbi Akiva answered him, he said, no. A Jew must sit and learn Torah, and if the Goyim come and kill us, so be it. But we cannot assimilate, because that is a death that's worse. That's a for sure death. That's the end of Judaism. So they went ahead and they learned, and they died as martyrs, and they go down in history as some of the greatest Jews ever, right?
Right. So, Greg.
By the way, Rabbi Akiva was a ger.
He wasn't a ger. He was descended from ger.
No, he was a ger.
He was a Bar Tshuva.
Rabbi Akiva?
Yeah.
Look it up. He's a ger.
Okay, sports fans. Greg Leake wants to know if a Jew would be shunned if he was too friendly with the Goyim.
Who?
I said that's ridiculous.
Who said that?
Greg Leake.
You said a Jew would be shunned.
Yeah, would a Jew be shunned by his fellow Jews if he was friends with the Goyim?
No.
And that's ridiculous. Like, I've been around Jews since 1993. I've never once heard anyone condemned for having non-Jewish friends.
I've never heard, no.
It doesn't happen.
No.
You'd be condemned if you start sleeping with them and eating non-kosher food.
You learned that the hard
way. A wink's as good as a nod to a blind man.
I want to just wipe out liberal world savior, because I can't stand him barking in the... he always barks when he comes in the chat room. He says, it was the religious Jews who were mostly killed in the Shoah. It doesn't matter if it was... I've done this 100 of times. I'm just going to say it one last time, okay? It doesn't matter what the numbers are. There's a Gemara, and it says, I believe in Yevamos, that... Or is it Kesubos? I'd have to look it up. It doesn't matter when the angel of death is let loose. He doesn't distinguish between the righteous and the evil. He doesn't distinguish. When he let loose, he's just going to kill every Jew he sees. It makes no difference. So even the righteous aren't spared when Jews start assimilating. When Jews do terrible things, everybody's going to pay the price. This is the problem with the state of Israel. The state of Israel was created. It went against Torah, and when the bombs fall in the state of Israel, nobody's saved. You can learn Torah all day. Bomb's still going to hit you, because when there's evil that's committed and God takes action, He does it against everybody. He's indiscriminate.
Now, should Orthodox Jews, should traditional Jews, should they be friendly with, like, let's say they have Gentile neighbors? Should they say hello to them, or should they just ignore them?
You should always say hello. It's a
you should be friendly. You should smile.
It's a Kiddush Hashem.
Friendly. Yeah, sanctification of God's name. You should always be friendly and nice. So, Greg Leake writes that one guy told me the unfriendly behavior that I, Greg Leake, described was because of the large number of New York Jews transplanted to Texas. And I think it's like at least 70% New York rather than a Jewish thing.
What's that?
The unfriendly behavior.
I mentioned New York. It could be. It could be that the arrogance... and all that howdiness, if you will, that could be just a New York thing.
Now, Greg says, you may have seen the same people in the supermarket, meaning Jews, Orthodox Jews, 100 times, yet they still will not even look at you unless you elicit this some conspicuous way. I never had one Jew initiate a conversation or exchange at the time of day or comment on the weather, as long as I was in this Orthodox Jewish neighborhood. This is particularly unusual for Texas. At the same time, these same Jews are greeting each other, having little conversations, and acting as if they were neighborly with other Jews. Okay.
He definitely had some bad experiences there, but I would ask you, Greg, you're watching.
Have you ever met friendlier people than Rabs and I?
Yes. I have. Here's my problem. Here's my problem with everything he said. It's anecdotal evidence, right? It's a lot of anecdotal evidence, because he is in one small area, one small conclave in Dallas, Texas, right?
Yeah.
There's probably like 14 from Jews living there, right? And he's what do you call when you extrapolate? Yeah. He's extrapolating that this is how the Jews are because I'm in this one little conclave of Jews. I probably know of two Jews who are from Dallas. That's probably it. Do you know any?